Hello guys, this video is about layering. And now when I'm speaking about layering, then obviously I'm not speaking about these big layers that we usually make. I'm speaking about these small layers, right, where we put the troops. Now whether it is the 100 troops, 1000 troops, 2000 troops, 500, 5000, 10,000. So what exactly is the right answer, right? Even apart from it, whether these things making any changes or not. So before starting this video guys, let me clarify the one thing that what you can expect this in this video. Firstly, these small layering that we do it is making the huge difference. It's gonna put you at the huge disadvantage or at the huge advantageous position depending on what are the layering you choosing while going against your opponent, right? So even before going much further, let me firstly divide the this layering effect on the two parts, because the outcome is gonna be different when we will going to attack any city, right, and when we attacking any player march outside the city, means in the battlefield, in the portals and all, in the hospital, right, and even in the server war, in the temples and all, basically the Mars side that is outside the city. When we attacking those, then it would be the hugely different outcome, and when we attacking the city, then it would be the hugely different outcome. So firstly, before starting this video, firstly we would be gonna start with the the attacking the Mars first, and we will cover the attacking the city in the later part of the video. So guys, let's firstly take the example of the ground march. And in this ground march, we are going with the 100 troops per layer, as you can see it. And with the march size is around the 1.7 m. And from the top to bottom, we are gonna go with the 100 troops per layer, right? And we are going to simulate the one battle against the 1000 troops per tire, and we would be seeing what kind of the outcome would be there. So here is the the range march. Here I'm putting the 1000 troops per layer, right, again from the top to bottom, right. And again, we are gonna go against the the ground march. So it's the ground march versus range march simulation, and with the 100 troops per tire and also the 1000 troops per tire, and we would be seeing what kind of the outcome would be there in the initial phase of battle, right, when they are going against each other. Now here's the outcome part. So when we would be looking at the outcome in the initial phase, what we would be seeing, that ground march has completely lost their all the layerings of the 100 troop per tire, and they only have their big troops layer left, while the ranged troops have all the layering left with some troop lost, but approximately all the layers are there from top to bottom, big layers and even the small layers. So now what is going to happen now, our range troop with 1000 troop has completely eliminated the all the layers of ground march, right. So now ground march is at the huge disadvantage, because the ground big layer has to take care of all the small layers, and then afterwards they can move to the big layer troops. Those are the range troops, right, because ground directly do not target the range. But now our big layer troop can easily target the ground march directly, right. So these kind of the benefit it would gonna be there if we have the the layer difference, the 100 versus 1000. It eliminated those 100 troop layers instantly in the start of the battle only, right. So this is the huge difference, right, because ground do not target the range directly. They will go through the ground first, then the mountain, and then they are gonna target the range. But right now what's going to happen, as no layer is there with the ground, now range is gonna freely hit the ground troops. So this is the huge advantage that right now range troop is gonna have over the ground one. Right, this is the mounted 5000 per layer, and I'm showing the range troop with the 1000 per layer, right. Now mounted is the 5 times higher than the ranged troop. Those are the 1000 per layer. And why I'm showing this in this particular scenario, because game is not that simple. There are so many if and but scenarios, right? So that's why I'm showing the outcome right now with the mounted 5000 and the raised 1000 per troop. So what kind of the outcome would gonna be there, right? Now in the outcome part here, in the range part, again you can see the range has lost all of their layers, while mounted is having all the layers intact with the some troop loss. But you can also see right now that mounted is losing the troops from their big layers. And the reason is why, because the range directly target the mounted. They don't have to go through any other layer first. They can directly target the mounted troop. So that's why our big layers is getting hit even in the initial stage of the battle, right? So here in this scenario, might be those small layers might not deliver much benefit. And the reason is why, because if our big layer is getting eliminated in the initial stage of the round, then the small layers can't do anything. But still, our mounted troops is definitely gonna be at the advantageous position. And the reason is why, because mounted usually do not target the range first. But right now, as archers do not have any layers left, so our mounted can directly hit the archers. So suppose if this is not the hugely buffed archer range, and it this archer range actually need multiple rounds to take out our calves, then what's going to happen, that our calves can directly reach these archers and can do the huge amount of damage. And most potentially, it's highly possible that archer Mars might not able to win it. And the reason is why, because the calves can directly reach the archer now. Otherwise, usually they would have gone through the ground first, then the calves, and then they reach the archers. Now archer is at the huge disadvantage, because archer has already lost all of his layering and the protection. Guys, still right now we spoke about hitting the enemy march outside the city. Now it is about hitting the enemy city. So does those small layers and choosing the amount within it make any difference? So clear cut answer is, it might not make any difference. And the reason is why, because enemy city, if we are talking about any defensive city, then it's gonna be having the all the troop types and all the layers. He would be having at least the million troops per layer, or might be the more than that, or might be the huge amount of the troops within the each layers, right? So those 1000, 2000, 5000, will only gonna last for the initial phase of the battle, right? So they only gonna provide the protection to our big layer only for the initial phase of the battle, right? So it hardly matters, or whatever the amount you want to choose, you can they fill in those small layers, and you can attack the enemy city, because while attacking the city it actually hardly matters. But it hugely matters when you are attacking the enemy march outside city. And I was strictly speaking about the layering and the amount of troops within the layering. I wasn't speaking about the the any mixed mass. Those are totally the different concept, right? So guys, now regarding the layering part, what to choose, 1000, 100 or 5000, while attacking the enemy mass outside city or within the city, I think you have the clear idea, what exactly to do. Guys, if you like this content and you like this concept, I will appreciate if you can like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm making the more video, and we'll see you guys in the next video. So guys, thank you and bye bye for now.